Hi guys, Olaf Kozolowski here, and today we're taking a closer look at the Danish player Anders Lind. Anders is from 1998, so he's relatively young, but he really had a breakout this year at the World Championships in Durban, where he reached the quarterfinals and was the last European standing in the tournament. He even won his first WTT tournament this year in the Czech Republic, where he had beaten several Chinese players on his way to the title. With his unique style and his reliance on his serve and his passive game, Anders managed to get a career high ranking of 29 in August and September of this year. Anders also has a YouTube channel, so make sure to check that out, but let us try to look a bit further than the strawberry receives that he's now known for. It might be surprising for a lot of people that Lind had this almost meteoric rise in the last year, but he had already shown streaks where he proved himself to be a top player before that. You see, in 2021, he put Denmark on his back on their way to win the bronze medal at the European Team Championships, where Lind beat big names like Marcos Freitas, Liam Pitchford and Paul Drinkel to secure a spot in the semi-final. But what is often overlooked is what happened to Anders just months before the tournament. You see, in March of 2021, Anders suffered a horrific car crash, after which he was out for the rest of the season with severe back issues. Now let's take a look at some patterns that you can find in his game. He stands very sideways, so if the ball comes really besides him, for example in backhand, he has trouble staying stable. And not only that, it looks like his footwork is a bit subpar, especially when the ball comes in the corners, which maybe stems from his center of gravity being out of place, so to speak. Also, since he is often very passive, his footwork and his explosiveness, it vanishes with that as well, because it is very hard to stay relaxed in the upper body while the lower body is just as active as usual. So usually if you're playing passive, you're not going to move as fast as if you were going to play active. And that is something of which I believe that he has to pay some attention to whenever he's waiting for the opponent to make a mistake, whenever he's playing passive. His serve is an incredible weapon, and I feel that the camera doesn't do justice at all to how much rotation there really is in those serves. Nevertheless, it seems to me that he has a bit too much confidence in his serve. You see, he has this tendency to drop his rackets when he waits for a half-long ball. But sometimes the ball will still come short over the table. The opposite should be done, in fact, where you keep your racket high until you're sure that the ball will come half-long or long. But you see, in those situations, and let's say even in general when he's playing the short game, and not only after a serve, he is a bit too passive, or he at least doesn't do enough with his short forehand. And that might come from this expectancy that since it is hard to receive short on a serve, that he thinks that he won't get any short balls. Therefore, I feel that a big gap in his game can be spotted there, over the table. As I already mentioned, his passive game is well developed, and he's definitely one of the better players on the tour when it comes to that. But there are moments in a match where he relies too much on that ability. And in those moments, he won't take any initiative, and he will sometimes wait 1 or 2 shots too long for a mistake of his opponent. But still, that difference in timing and rhythm can put you off as an opponent, which makes his system work so well, in a way. If you ask me, he definitely has potential to stay around this new world ranking of his, because he's fairly unorthodox. He has all the tools to even become a better player than he is now, because mind you that he is still quite young. However, it should be said that his mental strength is not where it should be, and sometimes outbursts occur. I'm not going to dive into what happened at the European Team Championships this year, since he expressed his regret for what happened, and I also believe that there wouldn't have been any sanctions had he kicked a regular separation with that light of a force as he did there. It still shows that there is room for improvement on that aspect of his game. Alright guys, that was the video on Anders Lind. I thank you very much for watching and for listening, and hopefully I will see you in another video.